So in today's video, we're going to share with you what we've learned from launching over the years, but in particular, this launch, this time, there's been a few things that have been different, the things that we've tried, and we want to share with you because as the world changes, marketing changes, the industry changes, business changes, people change, you have to keep up with it. And what we've found is that what you did last year or the year before doesn't always necessarily work this time. So we've tried new strategies and we're going to share some of those things that we've learned today.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we are well known for is launching, and we've launched so many times. We've had really, really successful launches. We've had 5-figure launches, 6-figure launches. And one of the things that we've really noticed is the amount of people who are signing up to launch events is getting less and less and less. And I think that's because there is now so many more people learning this particular skill and this particular strategy. And that's not a bad thing. Like, it is not a bad thing that there's less people signing up. And what we found is you're actually attracting a much higher quality of person. So even though there's less people signing up, in fact, the quality of people signing up for us has been a lot higher. And that's been great for us, hasn't it? Because it's meant that rather than being like overwhelmed by the amount of people, because, you know, we've done Facebook groups before where we had events and we've had like hundreds and hundreds, almost 1,000 people in one event. And it was really hard to keep up with all of the comments, all of the interaction. And what we've found is with the smaller groups is you're really able to go above and beyond and really understand these people who are signing up to work with you so much better.
Yeah, you can build the relationships, grow connections, and have some, you know, really like not intimate time, but get to know somebody, and that's the best bit. And you know, I think what we've learned and what I've noticed from being able to step out of it a little bit and look in is, you know, 2020 was a crazy year. 2019 was a crazy year. And 2021 also crazy, and there was a lot of time. People were going out. There was a lot of money being pumped into the economy, and things had just retracted a little bit. And that's caused people to, you know, have to shift, have to make changes, have to adapt to the situations and what's going on. And what it's allowed you to do actually is reevaluate and redesign your business based on what you actually want. And that's something that we've really noticed, isn't it? In terms of like, how do we want to run the business and how do we want to operate and how do we want to live our lives? Obviously through 2021, it was push, you know, make more money, because there was nothing else to do. You couldn't go out and do anything. You were in your house and you had a lot more time to work. There was less things going on in the world. Whereas now people are looking to, maybe they want a little bit more time and a bit more freedom and a bit more flexibility. So something that we've learned through this launch is and the last one is, what do we actually want out of it? You know, is it money or is it time or is it flexibility or is it a bit of both? And I think it's really interesting now where we're actually able to, and you are as well as a business owner, is actually able to decide how you want to run your launch, how you want to run your business, how many clients you want to work with, and how you want to live your life. And that's the question you probably want to lead with.
Yeah, it really is. And do you know what? I much prefer these smaller launches. And a lot of the clients that we work with, you know, they're still in the earlier phases of their business. They're still building up their audiences. They're still building up their communities. So their launches are smaller too. And the fact that we can share this insight into actually the smaller the launch, the more that you can really understand your client. And like Chris was saying, like, what is really important to you? You know, is it working with like heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of clients and just making more and more and more money, which obviously, like, yes, the goal is in business to make money, but is that the only driver that you've got, or is it about creating that lifestyle that you want?
Exactly. And I say to people, you know, when they're looking to try and sign the first client or 3 clients or 5 clients or whatever it might be, it's all you need to do is say the right thing at the right time to the right person in the right way across 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's just about understanding that message, understanding what you need to say, understanding how you need to say it, and then saying it. And so many people get these little bits wrong, but it can be very, very simple if you know how to do it. And that's what we've been perfecting the art of. And I say perfecting, trying to master it all the way through, trying to understand things and adapting. And again, all these little trainings and videos and things that we're going to share with you are all the things that we've learned. And there's some great things, there's some things that didn't go to plan. But that's why we're here, because we want to learn and share.
Yeah, so another thing that we learn is that people do need so much more trust building in a launch as well. And I think what Chris was saying about during lockdown and launches were so much bigger then because people didn't have anything else to do. Now, and people have got lives, they're busy, they've got other commitments, they've got other responsibilities, and signing up to every single free event is probably not top of their priority list. So not only does your event have to stand out, or your launch event have to stand out as something unique, something original, but you also need to make sure that within that event, whatever that event is for you, you are really focused on building trust. And this is something that we actually taught inside of our event. We use our amazing trust framework to walk people through how we build trust with our audience through our offers. And, when I look at other people's launches and they tell me their results and they tell me that they didn't necessarily get the results that they wanted, when I start to dig a little deeper into what did you actually do during your launch, they haven't really focused on building that trust. And it's not just the launch event, is it? It starts well before then. It starts when you're actually building your audience and warming up your audience. It's not just the event itself.
Yeah, then the other thing as well is most people just pluck a number out of thin air. So they'll just go, right, well, 10 clients, or I want to hit 20K or 30K or 5K. That number isn't based on anything really. So, the fact that you didn't hit your results or you didn't get your launch goals doesn't mean anything, does it? Because usually the numbers just plucked out of thin air, and that's from experience. We've done that. We just created this crazy number that we wanted to go for, and right, let's go for it. And it wasn't the right thing to do, and we've learned from that lesson, shall we say, not mistake. We don't make mistakes, but we learn from lessons, and that's what's ultimately brought us to this point now, is actually how do we want to run a business and how do we want to live. And I'll say it again, is because it's so important. Because if you're shooting for loads of money, the chances are you might not have the time freedom that you want. But if you want more time freedom, you will probably do different things to get you to that, because you'll be creating a better offer that's worth more money, and you want to need a select few clients to work with you so that you can have the time with, going traveling or going on holiday or spending time with each other.
Yeah. I think a lot of people compare themselves to the bigger names in business who are doing these huge $1 million or $1 million pound launches, and they're selling courses or whatever it might be. If your goal is to earn more in your business than you did in your corporate job, then you're only going to need to sign a few clients potentially to get there. So your launch doesn't need to be this big thing that takes up so much of your time and is so overwhelming. We don't like to use the word that launching is overwhelming, but when people don't follow a strategy, or they're working towards these big crazy goals that are not even in alignment with how they want to run their business, then it becomes overwhelming because you're putting so much pressure on yourself. Launching gets to be super fun. We see this as a way to connect with our amazing audience, as a way to deliver incredible value, and as a way to make money and sign clients in the business. But we don't no longer put this massive pressure on ourselves because it rips all the fun out of it.
Yeah, and it creates the pressure, and it creates a reliance. It creates problems. It creates more problems than it solves. And what's the beauty of launching and non-launching is once you've launched, you've created a platform where people still know, like, and trust you, and then come to you. And they come to you because they've seen you do an event, or maybe they couldn't attend the event, but they've seen the marketing afterwards. So again, what we've learned is that taking all the pressure off the actual launch and doing them more often in maybe a smaller way or a slightly different fashion allows you to have that magic cash flow, which cash flow is king. Everyone knows it. If you haven't got cash flow, you haven't got business, because there's going to be some bottleneck somewhere. So being able to do these things more regularly, but not necessarily rely on them, is the best place. And that's a great place to be. And that's something that, we've been on the roller coaster of that in absolute transparency, because we've learned things along the way, and that's one of the most important things, is not to rely on launches. When you're relying on a launch, you're going in with the wrong mindset, you're going in with the wrong expectations, because you can't guarantee anything. And in this world, if you can't guarantee it, then you need to be able to think about other options as well.
Yeah, I think it's about relying on one launch to change everything. I mean, launches are fantastic, and launches are a brilliant way to bring in clients and bring in cash. And I think relying on just one launch to change everything is where that pressure builds up. But knowing that this one launch is not the be all and end all, I think that's the thing to bear in mind. there's other ways that you can sign clients. There's other ways that you can bring in money into the business. And that launch, it's not just about bringing in X amount of money in X amount of time. It's about what that launch can do for your business in the long run. And when you change your perspective on that and you think, okay, so the reason why I'm doing this launch is, number one, like signing clients would be amazing, would be brilliant. But number two, it's building trust with my audience. It's adding value. It's making connections. It's building relationships. It's putting me on the map, knowing that in the future that people are still going to remember you from that launch and come back to you. And like, this happens to us all of the time.
Yeah, it's called delayed gratification.
Yeah.
In an instant gratification world at the moment, everyone wants everything yesterday. And unfortunately, I'm not going to say you can't have everything, but you can have most things, but you probably can't have everything. And in that moment, you've really got to find a way to get over yourself, basically, and know that if it doesn't go well this time, if you quit, you've actually just wasted your that's actual waste of time. Whereas if you go, right, it hasn't gone well this time, but I'm going to do something differently. I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to find this way. I'm going to understand that. I'm going to communicate that in a different way. And I'll do it again and do it again until it works. And, you know, we've told the story. If you've heard it, amazing. We'll tell you in a different way another time. But if Amy hadn't have continued after her first 2 launches, we wouldn't be here now. We wouldn't be recording these videos. We wouldn't be doing these trainings. We wouldn't be traveling the world. We wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be doing that. Because, and if I'd have given up in my business, just when I had about 3 or 4 discovery sales calls and meetings and they didn't go anywhere, I could have just given up easily and said, oh, I'll just not bother. I'll just go back to doing what I was doing. So in the moment, it's difficult. It's not very fun. It's not very pleasant for things not to go the way you want. But if you can get over yourself and find a way through it and build the mental strength, stamina, endurance, whatever you want to call it, the magic's at the other side of it. And it might be this time, it might be next time, it might be in 3 times.
Yeah.
But when it happens, that delayed gratification is the best.
Yeah. And then the final lesson I think we want to share is, it's not really a lesson, it's just a reminder that vibe and energy really is everything in a launch.
Certainly now, certainly in this moment, it's paramount.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like going back to people that we've spoken to who've been launching and then they're disappointed they didn't get the results they wanted. And I've been watching everything unfold and I can just tell that their energy is not in there. Like when I got back from Dubai and I said, right, this is it, I'm going all in. I made sure that I worked on my energy so much because I know that that is the thing that sells. Like, you know, you don't have to do the best event in the world, but if you have got that energy there and you've got that vibe and that passion and that, oh my God, I love what I do energy, then people are going to feel that and people are going to be like, do you know what? I want to work with you because you are amazing.
It's not just about setting yourself as the authority or the expert. It's creating a vibration, energy where somebody goes, I want to work with this person. And I've said this before, but you cannot transfer what you do not already possess. And we see people just going in a little bit half-hearted, just, you know, going through the mill to tick the boxes ultimately. And ticking boxes nowadays in 2023, it's not going to work. That's a guarantee. Just ticking boxes will not work. You need to step above, step up, find a new level of energy yourself, whether that's level 10 calm, whether that's level 10 confident, whether that's level 10 just jumping around the room. It doesn't matter. It's about finding another level in yourself to be able to go to that next level, to show up. And it's so paramount. And, you know, again, it probably comes back to, you know, a lack of belief or confidence or certainty in themselves, their offer and the business. And, you know, that's always going to be present. That's always going to, you know, you're always going to have a little bit of that. But what that means in the moment is that you need to do more work on yourself, because we can all feel like we're not confident, or we can all feel a bit like or apprehensive or on edge or whatever it might be. Fine, that's no problem, but don't let that stay there. Find something in you, do something different to create the energy within yourself so that you can go out there and serve. Yeah.
We even set an intention, like from this event that we hosted, how do you want people to feel? And we came up, it's not original, but it's LFG energy. So LFG energy. So let's flipping go, whichever F word you want to put in there.
Others are available.
Others are available. And you know, that was our intention from this event. We wanted people to feel so fired up, so motivated, so inspired, so like, let's do this by the end of this event. And the feedback that we were getting was absolutely on point. Like, we've even got people messaging us now with like LFG.
Yeah.
And it's about building that energy, that vibe within your event that is going to make the difference for you. So the next time that you host, whether it's a masterclass, webinar, free event, whatever it might be, in-person thing, like, check in with your energy first. Is this something that you feel excited about? Is this something that you really want to be doing? Because if it's just a tick box exercise, if it's just, oh, I'll just do it for the sake of doing it, your people are going to feel that, and then they're not going to be interested.
Yeah. We've got people that have signed up to start in a month or two. We've got people that didn't sign up and still like absolutely buzzing. And we know that there's going to be an amount of people, and you should probably know this as well, that there's the people that come just for the free event that you'll never speak to or see again, or you'll see at the next event. You've got people that will inquire and then it's just not the right time, and sometimes it is not the right time, or they just don't have that money, and then sometimes it is they don't have the money. And then you've got people that are really interested that are a little bit on the edge, and then you've got the ones that are like LFG, and that's fine. You're always going to have that. So just know that there'll always be people that come, attend, take everything they can and disappear. That's absolutely part of the game. But just know that sometimes, and it may be 12 months, it may be 24 months, we've seen it, people come back. And if you provide the best show, the best event, the best workshop, the best webinar, the best something, people remember. And when it's you or somebody else, they'll go, well, that event like really did make me think. It changed my mindset, it changed my concept, it changed my belief. They're going to come back to you. And oftentimes, it's not always about the money. They go to the person who they trust the most, or the business or the offer they trust the most as well. So just know as well, you might be more expensive than somebody else, but they don't care about that. They just want to work with you or work with your business.
Yeah. So to wrap it up,
yeah,
we have absolutely loved this launch. It was amazing. We did it in a slightly different way as well, and I'm sure that we'll be sharing more about the way that we launched this time in future videos. But we're so happy to have welcomed in 14 amazing dreamy clients during this launch, which is amazing.
Including one today just before I got.
Oh yeah, we saw today. No, she didn't actually come to the launch.
Oh, she didn't come to the launch, and that's the beauty of it.
But actually, she started following us at the back end of our launch. I think there was just like a few days to go until the doors closed, and then that's when she started following. Yeah.
So just know that outside of launches, you can sign clients. Absolutely, and it makes it much easier as well.
Yeah, it does. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.